more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
That's the real deal.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Hot sauce. Yeah.
Really?
Are you getting information right now?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce in my bag, swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now listen, I
yes.
just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people.
Is it working?
What's up, family? I am a determined black man, John Jay, and as usual, I'm determined to reach at least one someone that's out there listening to the sounds of my voice, if not each and every one of you all. Hey, look, I miss y'all. Let me say that first, because I love my people. And I've had a lot of things going on here lately in the last 6 months or so that has kind of deterred me from being able to share regular video. I got a lot of information and content that I've been gathering meantime and between time. But I had to squeeze in some time so that I can make this video because I feel it's important to share any information that can help enlighten us and put us in a better situation or a better predicament than what we've been facing as black people in this nation that so scornful towards us, so hateful towards us, that I just wanted to sit and share with you all quickly 5 lies that we've been instituted. 5 lies that's been indoctrinated into our community, into our minds, into our hearts to this day by the Western powers that be. Number one, the number one lie that I feel, these are all my opinions, y'all, but also backed by facts. But the list 1 through 5 is my opinion of 5 of the most detrimental things towards black people. Things that are harming us that we have no control over because other people have created the narrative, not us. Other people outside of our group, outside of our community, has decided to rewrite history. So, I mean, if you've been living in the last 100 years with open eyes, open ears, open mind, open heart, then you are aware that black people ain't the worst people in this world. I'm not trying to even point fingers at who's worse and who's the best, but let's just be quite frank and let's be honest. Even if we use your history that you provided us with, it's clear to me that black people ain't the most vicious, the most barbaric, the less human, the less moral sounding. Not at all, not by far. Because if I had to say so myself, I would say that black people are some of the most humble people and some of the most laid back people, some of the most giving people, some of the most forgiving people in this world. Look at all the things they've had to face. Look at all we've had to face, all the things that we've gone through. And even to this day, nobody wants to recognize it. Nobody wants to speak about it. As a matter of fact, if you look closely right now in the political world, they're trying to weaponize our history against us. You have certain states even wanting to do away with the history of slavery or enslavement. But let's stick to the topic. The 5 lies that the westernized powers that be, the elitists, have indoctrinated us with, making us feel subjugated or, less powerful, less in control of our own destiny, as though we have never been great or though we can't do anything great. You see, one thing I've learned about this new unveiling by Vladimir Putin of the Black Jesus and his disciples and the family is that the last thing these powers want you to do is to know truly who you are.
Myself and on behalf of my country. To you and all African Americans, from the beginning of our nation's history, in honor of your ancestors and on behalf of your children, please hear this from my heart. I apologize. Please forgive us. With this prayer, I acknowledge the depth of the evils that have been perpetrated against black people. From slavery to lynchings.
Vladimir Putin has shocked the world by unveiling historic paintings showing the reality, Black Jesus and Black Israelites. Until now, only a selected group of people knew that Jesus, his mother, and his people were black.
Once you start unveiling the truth on them, they're going to always take this high road, as they call it. And you start hearing things like, well, it really doesn't matter what color the one that the world calls Jesus, because I don't refer to him as Jesus. It's clear that there's another lie, because the letter J, and as I always tell y'all, that's a lie that's easily debunked, because the letter J isn't old enough by far, by over 1,500 years, the letter J is not old enough to have been included in no one's name from that era. So y'all can say what you want, but I'm just telling you, as I learn better, I do better. I'm not gonna keep on driving that home. And like I say, a lot of times, once we start unveiling the truth, the first thing that they say is, "Oh, it really doesn't matter." I've even heard a lot of Christians, black Christians myself, well, you know, whatever color he is doesn't matter. But if it really didn't matter, ask yourself, why would they go through all of the trouble of defacing monuments and all type of things that have depicted us as the superior, as the original man, as the descendants of the one known as Jesus? Why? Why would they go through such strenuous and vigorous attempt to cover up our history? And if you look, you'll see that anyone that has given us a clue, just a slight clue, has been eliminated by one way or another. But just know, you know, black people definitely aren't the most barbaric people in the world. We're just like anything else that you push into a point. And over time, eventually, even a squirrel, like I tell y'all on many of these videos, even a squirrel will try to chew his way out. You forced us into a corner for hundreds of years. Beat us, raped us, stripped us from our families, sold us from one family to the next, used us like livestock, studs, to breed, and bear children. Some by husbands, some by masters, unwilling, forced to bear mulatto children. Just all type of things that have created what you have today. Well, yeah, if you turn the blind eye to all the things that led up to this point, of course, black people would look like we've given up. We don't have no hope, and we just rather kill each other and hurt each other and cause harm and shoot up houses and cars and people at any given chance. That's not the case. There's been things structured and deliberately put into place to cause us to have this type of situation going on. Cause us to be faced with the case that it is today. And yes, I'll be the first to say that black people, we got to start back loving one another. And we got to encourage these young people to put these guns down, or at least stop turning them on each other. It's time for us to pull together and start loving on our sisters and our brothers. Before I go any further, let me ask you all, please hit the like button. Please share this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you will. Hit the notification bell. That's that bell right down there. Press that bell. You're more than likely to be notified every time I drop any hot new content to this channel. That's the key, y'all. We got to get the word out there. We got to start encouraging one another to love and to continue to build hope and create our own lane. Create our own lane. Okay, so that leads me to number 2. Blacks should always vote Democrat. Hey, I remember about 4 years ago now, we almost approached 4 years here in November since the Biden administration took office. And I remember prior to him during the campaign, so it may have been over 4 years now, I remember Biden actually saying out of his mouth that we wasn't black.
You got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see
Take a look at my record, man. I extended the voting rights 25 years. I have a record that is second to none. The NAACP has endorsed me every time I've run. Come on. Take a look at the record.
No, I've been critical of you. I have a few things I want to talk to you about today.
I know you have.
Yeah.
You don't know me.
No, I don't. That's why I want to get to know you today. I want to talk to you about mostly black stuff.
I get overwhelming support from the black leadership, young and old. Every poll shows me way ahead.
And black people saved your political life in the primaries this year. They have things they want from you. And one of them is a black woman running mate. What do you say to them?
What I say to them is that I'm not acknowledging anybody who is being considered, but I guarantee you there are multiple black women being considered. We've seen it more clearly now. In a black majority county, they're 6 times more likely to die in the pandemic than a white county. They're disproportionately uninsured in the African American community, disproportionately make up the essential jobs that they can't do at home. They're risking their lives every day. Enough's enough.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Are you getting information right now?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce in my bag, swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now listen, I
yes.
just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people again.
Okay. Is it working?
Now, a lot of black people still voted for him because a lot of black people fell for that. You know? Because a lot of us, we want to be accepted by them. And so to hear one of them say that is like opening the door. So let me go. I'm going to be a Biden boy. I'm going to be a Biden girl. Don't know no formality. Don't know what policies he's put in place or what he plans to do in the future. Don't care. Because Biden said what we wanted to hear. He made us feel inclusive. Whereas with Trump, a lot of people on the fence with him because of some of the blatant things he says out his mouth that leads us to believe that he's racist and not for the black people. So, a lot of people went out and voted Democrat. Now, I'm here to tell you, at this point in my life, I voted Democrat, I voted Republican, I've written in candidates, and I voted independent. But I'm here to tell you that as I've researched and gained further knowledge as to these political parties, I'm here to say that none of these parties are for us. It's all a witch hunt. It's all a game. They pull all the little dirty tricks out and try to expose one another in their wrongs. They tell you all these beautiful lies of what they're going to do for you. And if you look around right now, we're getting close to election time, right? It's June. What do you see? You see the vice president throwing parties and inviting entertainers, black hip hop entertainers. You know what I'm saying?
Years from music to fashion, film, and beyond. When speaking about the celebration, VP Harris said,
as a daughter of Oakland, California, hip hop has been a part of my life since its very beginning.
Meanwhile, Common took to Instagram to share a video compilation of his time in Washington, D.C. In the caption for the Instagram post, he wrote, "What a glorious day in D.C. I celebrated hip-hop all day long. Early in the day, I celebrated with @Kamala Harris, and later on in the day, we celebrated with my brother Robert Glasper. #good times." Other memorable performances included Lil Wayne's 6 Foot, 7 Foot, and his performance of Mrs. Officer.
She read me my rights, she took me in the park, she cut up all the lights, she said I have the right to remain silent. Now I gotta hollering, sounding like a siren, talking about sing it loud.
So what do you think of legendary artists like Lil Wayne, Slick Rick, Common, and more, all performing at the VP's Hip Hop 50 celebration?
Is she doing what has always been known to be done by the Western elites? And that's to patronize us. That's to get us wrapped up into their little world, as to believe that their little world somehow can coexist peacefully with ours. And that this is what it's meant to be like. And that they are just as cool as we are. And so they want to be as relatable as they can. And so they're willing to pull out all the stops to go as far as, even with Trump, to go out and to create some gold tennis shoes. Because he feels like black people are so attracted to gold and tennis shoes, sneakers, that he could create his own. So not only will he benefit monetarily off of it, but also he can gain more acceptance into the black community.
That's the real deal.
Former President Donald Trump at a traveling sneaker show event, SneakerCon, in Philadelphia Saturday, unveiling his never surrender high tops.
I don't like that, y'all. I don't like nobody playing with my people like that. When I say patronize, I mean like when someone has bad intentions, but they try to pretend by exploiting things that really don't even pertain to them. You know what I'm saying? But trying to use those things to get an upside or get an edge, to get a foot in the door. And the reason why they do it is because it works. In a lot of instances, black people really tap into this. Matter of fact, I've been into heated debates with my own sisters. Well, one of my sisters in particular, here lately because of her idea of the Biden administration and her idea of the Trump administration. Now, me personally, let me first say, just like I told her, I am not in support of Trump, nor do I like Trump or Biden. Not supporting Biden, not supporting Trump. I think that they are both racist. I think that they are both manipulators. I think that they both done some things that's very questionable as to their intent towards black people, which leads me to wonder, do they really like black people? But, and you know what they say about but, it negates everything that came before it. It's not so true in this case. But Trump, on the other hand, is one of those honest people to a degree. To the point where if you push Trump into a corner, he's just like one of those guys that you out here hanging with and you get into some trouble, y'all go out here and commit a crime. And you wonder why they found out what all happened, word for word. Because they told. Trump is one of those that if you push him into a corner, he's going to do exactly what his name says. He's going to sound the trumpet. He's going to holler out. He's going to let it be known. Everything that's going on. So me, being the type of thinker that I am, I can really have an appreciation. Not that I like them. I can appreciate the KKK that's walking down the street in the white sheets more than the one that's dressed up in the business suits that's sitting in the high elite offices, skyscraper, the senators, and the higher up politicians, congressmen, hiding, pretending to be sheep, when all along they're wolves, waiting on an opportunity to catch you slipping. To catch you believing in their policies, catch you believing in the things that they say. So, I'm here to say, in my very own opinion, this is just my opinion, I think that black people need to stop voting. Stop voting red or blue. If you're gonna vote, vote green, vote independent. Go vote for Cornel West. Even he knows he won't win. But the point is, and I can't get a lot of black people to see this, especially black women for some reason. The point is, to allow them to see that we can unify and we can take our vote somewhere else, and to show them how important it is to have us on the same accord with them. And so, not that I would even encourage this, to even try to make an attempt to be on the same accord with them again. But if we're going to make a difference using this democracy, which is very questionable as well, look at what's going on all across the world. How we are involved with all these different wars, proxy wars, the Zionists in Israel, and how we take sides with them over Hamas and the Palestinians. And we know the truth. We know all of the atrocities and how negligent Israel has been towards Hamas in the Gaza Strip, and how vicious the so-called ish people have been to say that they've had to go through something similar. How could you not have pity or some type of remorse for your actions? But we know what's up. We know they're on an extension of the West, and that they all have that same ideology, that they're the best, and that if God be for us, he can't be for everybody though. Not according to the West. God bless America. God bless the British. God bless the English. God bless England. God bless the Vatican. God bless the Christians. Why can't God be for us all? If you really truly believe. Once again, you want to use religions and you want to use the name of God as a tool, as a mechanism to manipulate the black public even further. But let's move on. We're going to make this quick. The number three lie that we're told, indoctrinated. Nobody just walk up to us, tap us on the shoulder, and tell us this, da. It's just over time. As you continue to live, you continue to absorb all the different things that they put into place, starting with media, the TV, the iPhones, the Android phones, the social media sites. All of this stuff that plays a part as to how we think. They use this stuff. And they somehow make us feel that we got to pick somebody. So I'm going to just go with the one that I feel like is the lesser of the two evils. That's one of our biggest mistakes. Because then you still render your power back over to one of these particular parties. And let me first of all say this. I didn't make it real clear in point two. But let me say this. If you really track the history of the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party, they have all manipulated and played us and promised us all these little sweet lies. But if you look around, it's obvious that ain't nobody been for black people. Everybody else can get laws passed to protect them. Everybody else can get reparations in some form or fashion. But when it comes to black people, we've been lied to about who we really are. We've been lied to even in our classification as blacks, and the reason why. It's all a form of manipulation so that your land can be stolen. The things you have rights and entitlement to, you can't claim them if you don't know who you are. If they tell us that we all came on slave ships rather than telling us that we are originally from here, we're indigenous of this land, which would give you rights, that would give you birthrights to this land. If they told you that, then that would be robbing themselves because they've already dispossessed us of this land. So what would make them tell us that to give it back to us? That's not really going to happen. You do have a few white people waking up and realize that their forefathers were wrong. A lot of them know and won't say a word about it. But you do have a lot of them now that's coming out because some of them do have a heart. Some of them do feel our pain. And some of them just tired of living the lie. They're tired of playing along.
I think back on the African American people in America. I think how that they were taken against their wills, put in the belly of ships, brought over here, beat, cussed. Many of them died in the guts of those ships, thrown overboard. They were pulled from families over there. You ain't never heard a gut-wrenching song. You hear a black person sing one of those old black Negro spirituals. Nobody knows. I can't sing it like that, see, because I hadn't experienced what they mean. When you've experienced hell, it comes out of the voice. I said, when you experience hell, it comes out of the voice. If you're one of those people that you got problem with black people or whatever, you better shut your mouth because they're God's people. You better hear what I'm saying to you. You better shut your white mouth. You better shut your white mouth. I'm not kidding you. I know some of you was raised in the deep South and you was raised by prejudiced people and bigoted people. You better get that out of your system. You better get it out of your system. It'll cause you to suffer right along with those masters. It'll cause you to suffer right along with them. These are God's people. And I know that there's wicked in white races and wicked in black races and all that. I'm not justifying none of that stuff. I'm just saying God knows what happened to the black race. He knows how they wound up over here. And God is going to reimburse the black people for all their trouble and all their labor. You watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you.
Just is what it is. But never feel like you have to choose the lesser of the two evils. Understand me? Like I said in point two, let's just stop voting for all of them. Let's stop voting for blue or red. Let's come up with our own independent party. In this case, the independent party we can vote is green and Cornell West. And though we know we don't have a chance in hell to win this election. Popularity, he's not as popular. He don't have a track history of politics. He's just a philanthropist and a very smart, very educated man. But in the political world, he doesn't have what it takes according to them. So his odds of actually becoming president in this world and at this time are far in between. But the thing about it is, if black people really went out and droves and voted for him, we'll show where we are, where we stand. And we can demand something for our vote in advance instead of always taking their word and expecting something on the back end that has never happened. We're still not free. We're still not free. We're still not free, black people. We still fighting for freedom. After hundreds of years, we're still fighting for freedom. Don't get it twisted. 1865 did not free us. By the way, you all make sure you go check out my spread shop. I created some designs for Juneteenth, which is June 19th. That's the holiday we celebrate our freedom, not 4th of July. But to be honest with you, the fight continues. And if you notice a lot of stuff I put out there, I always say continue the fight. Because you're never free until you're free. That means financially free, mentally free, physically free, spiritually free, and just free. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't free from none of that. Mentally, we ain't free because we still living under the disposition and the trauma of our ancestors, the things that they had to go through. And now, we're definitely not spiritually free because our spirits have been tainted. We've been lied to and manipulated with these different religions, things of that aspect that has tricked us, has diluted our spirits. And so we can't even be pure at heart anymore because we've been lied to, and we start to fall for the lies and the tricks and all of this despisement. Like, it's real, y'all. So once again, don't fall for the picking. I did this not long ago in an election. I was told to just pick the one of the two, the one lesser of the two evil. And come to find out, the very person I actually voted for, in my opinion, he was very much more evil in some of the policies he put in place. But anyway, don't vote for him and see what happens then. Instead of them lying to us and only coming out to our schools and churches during election time, we sitting up laughing, hee and shaking their hands and ha with them like it's cool. You just popped up. I don't even know you. I ain't seen you since the last 4 years before you ran your campaign, your re-election campaign, or I don't even know you. But you can come into my hood, come into my church, come into my school, come into my places of business, spew out all your little lies and shit that you're gonna promise to do for us, get your little millions surrounding you and all that, just believing in your bullshit. And then once you get elected, we don't see or hear from you again. No policies are put in place to help us to do anything prosperous, to help us do anything to help build up our community, build it back up. Nothing. But you go hard for that vote, though. The number 4 lie that Western powers that be has bestowed upon us. It's a very deep lie. Because here in the last 3.5 years, 4 years, about 4, we've been lied to tremendously. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been lied to. We've been lied to tremendously since the pandemic about COVID and vaccinations, how harmful or helpful they may be. Now, I'm not a medical professional. I have worked around medicine for a long time. I talk to doctors. I see cases. I talk to people. I even have patients that talk to me. And initially, I was skeptical myself about taking the vaccination for the simple fact that it was just too new. You know, the disease was too new, but there to have already become a vaccination. When I know the process of any pharmaceutical, it has to undergo a clinical trial that normally lasts from 5 to 10 years. But because of Operation Warp Speed, all of a sudden now, the government gets involved. They can knock that 4, 5 to 10 year process into less than 1 year. And it's clean. I mean, it's safe. My stupid ass, I waited about 6 months just to see how other people were going to react to it, but not just thinking about how long vaccinations stay in your bloodstream. It's almost a lifelong thing. I had a cousin that was out in New York City at a restaurant when they first started vaccinating, giving us the card, and they said that her card was fake. So they tried to kick her out of the restaurant. You can go pull it up on CNN. It made national news. I was sitting in a Mexican restaurant eating, and I saw it come across the screen. I'm like, wow. Then I saw the name. Like, what? I don't know that name. Then I got to call around and ask me, like, yeah, she out there in New York. That was her. In some kind of way, Black Lives Matter group, they got with her. That's how it got blowed up so big. But, yeah. These people been lying to us, man. Lying to us. Let me tell you what they did in my neighborhood with the clinics in my neighborhood. They hurry up and dump the vaccinations on us and gave us all type of incentives. We were paying the people to take the shot and everything. You know what I'm saying? That should have been right there. That should have been the biggest red flag of them all. They paying you to take a shot? Man, don't this sound like that Tuskegee shit that they did with the syphilis? Man, they paid us to take the shot. Yeah, they paid us. So we were a part of the trial because that's what they do in clinical trials. Look it up. They pay you umpteen amount of dollars when you sign that contract. Pay you $500 to study you and your reactions to these medications for umpteen minute a day, you know what I'm saying, or months or years or whatever. So that they can have case on top of case on top of case before they actually released these medicines. Where in this case right here, it didn't take that long. So they ain't had it. They ain't had that many cases. They were just going based off of whatever prior knowledge they had before they even created that vaccination. Because I'm led to believe that the government was aware of this stuff. That's another reason, like I said, why I like Trump. Because Trump was saying some things at that time people wasn't agreeing with, but at the same time, it was kind of exposing the fact that this stuff was already something that was a thing. You know what I'm saying? That the United States just found a way that they could capitalize off of it. And that's what happens in America. They lie to us. They trick us into ways to doing things so that they can benefit. And one of the biggest tricks for black men is the justice system or the unjustice system. Prison, incarceration. Y'all please go check out my book, Locked Up. Matter of fact, check out all of my books on Amazon. The link is in the description and in the bio, and I'll drop it into the comments. Y'all please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Please hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified each and every time I drop any hot new content to this channel. Black people, I'm about y'all first. I'm dropping this stuff because I want us to wake up. And I want us to realize that we've been lied to. It's just like Malcolm said, we've been bamboozled. And what happened with Malcolm? The CIA, the FBI, the BFI, all of them got together and came up with a way to eliminate the truth. They didn't want to hear it no more, so they shut him up. And that's what happens. That's what happens when you start exposing these Western ideologies. But like Malcolm, just like Brother Malcolm, I stand assured and affirm on what I speak. And before I take it back, I add some more to it. Like a good brother I know from down here, they preacher, Tenor. It's something he said on the radio on Tuesday night. Before I take it back, I add some more to it. That's real. So number 4, been lied to, y'all. We've been lied to. Number 4, how many of you all know that the reason why medical doctors in the United States and all over, in order to maintain a clean license in their practice, they cannot practice with holistic forms of healing. They cannot practice with natural forms of healing. They must use biomedical. They must use biomedical, which is a chemical. But it was all orchestrated by none other than the creator of the banking system and one of the inheritors of probably the largest oil distributors and drillers in the world. It was John R. Rockefeller that created that report. I want to call the name of it. I almost said the name of it. But it was a report.
The Flexner Report of 1910.
He stated that they had to use biomeds. So what happened at the time, you had a lot of holistic healers. You had a lot of natural doctors that were using, let's just say, dandelions and maple syrup and honey and stuff. You know, natural forms, natural remedies, natural forms of healing, rather than just band-aiding and giving you something to help you maintain it for the next 30 days until you got to come back in and swipe your Medicaid, Medicare, or whatever form of health care that you may have, medical insurance, to put you on a monthly reoccurring payment plan. You know, that's basically all this is. Because it's not healing. So you having to come back and back and back. You have to get re-prescribed and overly prescribed and prescribe this, prescribe that, which all have adverse effects, which all have side effects that cause other problems. That's why I'm not a real big fan of medicine like that. Even though my grandfather was a medical doctor, I'm not a big fan of that. But what I wanted to also include with that was that Jordan was so perplexed with medicine, and he was so adamant about his money. He was going to do whatever it took. So he actually took $100 million of his own money. This was in 1910. This was back then. $100 million. Like probably $5 billion right now. Maybe even more. Took his own money. And forced a lot of schools where black medical students were going, or preparatory schools, forced a lot of them to close their doors. Because they wasn't practicing today's typical medicine. They were holistic healing. And they used some natural forms of healing. But he wanted it to be a total capitalist thing. So what would he do? He would make it whereas you would have to go through these pharmaceutical companies to get the med. And then they would have to be approved by a board that he can control. So not only did he force us to take meds that's not healing us and we're still sick, and possibly the meds that's supposed to resolve one issue create another, but he also helped and aided in the demise of black medical colleges. Like, if you look around, it's not hard to see that we don't have a lot of black medical doctors. Now, I have a couple of cousins that are black medical doctors, but I've known there to be 2 and 3 white medical doctors out of the same household. But for the black community, it's far and in between. And as I did my research, I found that this had a lot to do with it. So not only do they not want us to be healed, but they don't want us to build. They don't want us to create our own lanes. We have to still operate between the lines that they have created. So that's why number 4 is very important for us to know. Because a lot of us and our ancestors as well have been so indoctrinated since 1910 that you don't even hardly hear people talk about natural forms of healing and remedy. Barely do. First thing something happens, the first thing they say is go to the doctor. Whatever your doctor tells you, that's law. But this would really hurt your feelings about that if you really looked into it. Did you know that medical malpractice and misdiagnosis is like the number 3 reason why people in general, not just black people, but all people, are dying or dead? It's like the number 3 cause of death. I think number 1 is going to be heart disease. 2 going to be cancer. Heart disease and diabetes are like number 1 together. And number 2 going to be cancer. And number 3 going to be medical malpractices and misdiagnosis. So I ain't trying to scare none of y'all. I'm just telling y'all the facts. Because I like my people to know. And I know they're not just going to put it out there simple and plain. You got to really dig. And one thing about us, not talking down on us, I'm just telling the truth. We don't like the research. We don't like to do our homework. We don't. We take other people's word for it. And that's why we've been misled and so easily misled over time. But I'm going to jump on to number 5 so we can get ready to wrap this thing up. But just know, ain't neither one of these no more important or no less pushed and inspired by the power that be. But number 5, they don't want to give us our props. They don't want to give us our fair place in society. They don't want to tell us that we are the original man. Though science has proven this time and time again. There's so much evidence out there that the black man was the first and that we were in all parts of this world. This world. I say that because it's a multiple world. We were everywhere. And so I'm reminded of that because of a recent film. I don't want to call it now, I don't want to misconstrue the name, but it was a recent film that was produced in Japan about a samurai, a black samurai. Yashidar, I think his name Yashidar. If you look at history, most black, Hebrews, Israelites, all the names start with like Yah. You know? So anyway, his name was an issue and the fact that he's black. But the crazy part is, you know, the samurai culture or heritage is predominantly Japanese, right? But the Japanese ain't saying shit about it. The Japanese like, we cool with it because we know the history. We know. And if you look at this, you can look this up. There was a wise quote by a samurai, one of a very popular samurai. I can't even call his name either. But he was an esteemed samurai or some sensei. But the quote says something to the effect of, you can't be a true samurai without a touch of black. Something like that. And that's like a quote that people in Japan, they quote it like religiously. They know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know that, man, we taught everybody civilization. We helped build the whole world. You know what I'm saying? But we've been lied to feel more inferior. They've created us this inferior disease and this complex that we see now with black folks. Only people we hurt is each other. And we build everybody else up. We still make everybody else powerful. We study empowering everybody else but our own. But I just think that that's very sad that, of course, I didn't tell you who is forcing the issue about this black samurai, but you could just take a wild guess. I think it's sad that this particular group would go so far to eliminate us in our history. Only makes me wonder just how powerful are we? Like, I realize that we've been lied to, and there's a lot of energies that we can tap into, and that we have a capability of tapping into that we don't because we've been lied to. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I still wonder Just how powerful it would be if more of us would jump on board. Because it's got to be that that's causing them, even to this day, to try to act like we shouldn't even exist, and that we can be replaced, and that we're not even, qualified to be satisfied. Like, the black man gets nothing. He gets no care, no fairness. It's always biasness. It's always manipulation. It's always the short end of the stick. You don't see no other race of people out here get abused and killed by the police. And they always come up with the same funk ass excuse about feeling a threat for their life, fearing for their lives. But yet still, you got illegal immigrants in New York and Chicago and different places, these different sanctuary cities. Legal immigrants beating up people, raping people, beating up the police, and not even spending the night in jail. Matter of fact, I read one article where some shot a police officer. Some shot a police officer. You know what I mean? But yet, the Biden administration want to give these people $10,000 expenditure cards, put them up in hotels, kick our kids out of their school and park, to create tent cities and shelter for these illegal immigrants. And they coming over here taking the funds, buying guns, automobiles, motorcycles and scooters. They going out here robbing people on scooters and snatching purses, raping women, all of these different things. But our government is funded. Just the same as I look at with Ukraine and Russia. And the same I look at Israel and Hamas, Israel and Gaza. The same shit. They tell us that they're going over for humanitarian reasons to fight the humanitarian war, to help these people, to set these people free, but yet still, we kill. Look at what they did to Gaddafi, Obama. Look at what they did to Gaddafi. There's going to be another story, but I just wanted to say that. Look what they did to Gaddafi. And killed all those Libyans. Look at all those people they killed, man. But then they'll say they was trying to liberate those people. But they'll say that he was a terrorist or he was a killer. But if you can kill, why can't they kill? I'm just saying. When our president make that call to go over there and just start dropping bombs on Baghdad, or wouldn't that make him a killer as well? But that's the thing about America. America's too great. America's too bold and too beautiful to be labeled as a killer. Our president couldn't be a killer. No, not the president of the United States. Yeah, right. Anyway, I just wanted to share those 5 things with you all. Y'all feel free to jump in the comment section. Please let me know how y'all feel. Please let me know if you think of what I'm saying. Some of these ain't real, or if you got questions about it. I try to go more into depth, give you all the information I can, man, because I'm all about empowering my people. So it ain't nothing to me, man. It ain't nothing to me. I want to see y'all all rise. I want to see us all rise, even though I know we all won't, because we're going to have those token few that's going to choose to go with the other side. As always, sell out. So that's in every group. It's never going to fail. But I just wish for the majority of us that we can catch on. We can build from it. Remember what I told y'all about this party. Not vote for them. Force them to recognize the power that we have. And for them to go out and make changes so that they can encourage us to possibly vote for them again. By the things that they've done, but not what they promised. I don't want to hear no more of those broken promises. I don't want to hear no more of those empty ass lies. We want to see what have you done. See, it ain't hard for me to go look up the 86, 96 bills, the prime bills that were basically hand created by Biden. Back then, the Senate, co-signed by Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. The reason why a lot of our fathers, uncles, and cousins ended up with 20 years in prison for one rock. You know what I'm saying? Because the government put out an APB on black men, put a target on our back by dropping these drugs off in our hoods, dropping these guns off in our hoods, creating war, treason. Anyway, just jump in the comment section and let me know what y'all want to expound upon in the next video, or y'all want me to go a little further into this one, any subject matter y'all feel that we need to really get out there on. Please feel free to jump in the comment section and let me know what you think. I will not be mad. I actually love the comment section. I would love for you all to drop as many comments as you can. I love the comment section. It's like a survey or something. You know what I'm saying? I can go through there and I can get a real good feel as for how you all feel and what you all are thinking. If what I'm saying is working, if anything I'm saying is doing what it's supposed to do, by reaching you and teaching you and helping to elevate you and to motivate you into becoming a better person for yourself and for our community. Look, I'm a determined black man, John J. Y'all make sure y'all check out my website down below, www.adbmstateofmind.com. That's an abbreviation for a determined black man, stateofmind.com. Created that website myself. I pay a monthly subscription for it. And I don't mind. Even though I don't make money off of it, I don't mind because I want to try to use it to empower my people. So I give you my story. I give you access to my Amazon authors page. What's going on? And also give you access to my YouTube channel here. As well as a lot of fun facts that I like to share on my blogs. Things that can help us to advance as black people. You know what I'm saying? So-called black people. That's another thing. We gotta really have some discussions about who we really are. You know, I know I consider myself a determined black man. And that's just due to what we identify each other by. But honestly, ain't none of us black. You know what I'm saying? And it was a purpose for that classification. It wasn't to benefit us. Like I said earlier, it was the dispossession of certain things, like our land and monies that we owe. You know? But anyway, those 5 things, man, play a major role as to how we think today and how we act today. Those 5 lies have been embedded and indoctrinated into us. I mean, like literally beat into us, whipped into us. You know, what's your name? My name, Kunta. Oh, your name, Toby. What he eventually end up saying? After so many lashes, Toby. His name, Toby. And that's what we doing. A lot of us are being mentally and spiritually beaten. And they whipping this shit into us to the point where we'll become docile and not willing to fight back. The last thing you should ever do is lay down and let your enemy just take over. Never. Just told my son that last night. Somebody ain't respecting your space, you're dead in nation. You know? We got to stop being these little docile creatures, man. Martin Luther King, yeah, a lot of us always go back and relate to him as being the soft. But no, he just thought that peace was the way. And to some degree, in God's eyes, it is. But there's a time for war. There's a time to kill. And when your enemy wants to kill you, turn the other cheek. Only help aid him in his plan to execute you. You'll make it easy for him. And that's not what I'm born to do. I wasn't born to make it easy for my enemies to take me out or to silence me. I'm going to continue to fight for my people. I'm going to continue to fight for what's right. I'm going to continue to fight for my freedom. So until the next time, I'm Determined Black Man John J. Y'all please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell. Please jump in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel. And please don't feel afraid to come back. Check out some of the content. Binge watch some of the content. Because it's all informative. It's all enlightening. It's all for the growth and development of my people. So-called black people. I love you all. Until the next time, I'm Determined Black Man John J. I'm out. What?